That is just not fair. Well, I'm Andy Goobel, and I was introduced as Pastor Andy Goobel, but today I'm just Andy. And I was Vranda's Andy.
That's right.
And I was Vranda's Andy from the time I was very young, long before my parents were married. Vranda was a part of our life. And I was thinking back to one of the earliest memories that I have of Vranda. She came up to take care of my sister and I when I was about 9 years old. And she brought with her this cassette tape. She had taped some songs off the radio when that was a thing. Some of you might remember, you taped songs off the radio. You didn't just pull them up on your phone on demand. And she had waited, and she had taped this song for me that she wanted me to hear. And this was right around 1985. 86, and she fast-forwarded it to a particular point, and I remember the opening rhythm and beats to this amazing hip-hop song called the Super Bowl Shuffle. And she said, this is the Chicago Bears, the greatest team in the NFL. This is the greatest defense in the history of football, and they're singing this song for you. I remember how much I appreciated it, and it gave me a love of music that I had never imagined, because I hadn't heard anything like that. And that same trip, Vranda invited me to go for a walk with her. And we walked, and I don't remember how long or how far we walked, but during that walk, Vranda taught me what racism was. She got real serious with me, and she said, Andy, I lived in northern Michigan at the time, and she said, you are not going to see a lot of people who look like me. And sometimes you're going to hear people say some things about people who look like me that are terrible. And they're going to use this one particular word, and she told me that word, and she said I would appreciate it if I never heard that word escape your lips. And I mention that today because I would be remiss if I didn't say that this champion, this woman who entered into an interracial marriage, that kind of conversation with people like that needs to happen now more than ever. In this particular time, in this particular place, who we are as American people, especially American people who love Jesus, we have to have those conversations. We have to be reminded of how evil and terrible racism is. I was taught that by Vranda. And it's a big part of why I do the ministry that I do in North Portland, Oregon to this day. Is because she taught me what that's all about. That's my personal reflection that I want to share today. I was also asked by my father to share on behalf of the Goobel family. And I asked them all to share with me and to say, I said, what are your memories? What are the things about Vranda that you remember the most and that you appreciate the most? And number one, across the board, was that radiant smile, right? All of my family, all my cousins and aunts and uncles said, I just remember that smile. And then when that smile would break into the biggest and loudest laugh that you could ever imagine, where it didn't matter what, if you were feeling down, if you heard that laugh, everything seemed to be okay, you know? And they also shared memories of how much Vranda loved her sports teams. And they weren't always, in fact, they were rarely the same as the sports teams that many in the Goobel family rooted for. And they shared memories of how when her beloved Bears, or Hawkeyes, or White Sox were doing particularly well against the Michigan Wolverines, or the Detroit Lions, or the Detroit Tigers, that she would be sure to call right away. Let everybody know that her team was doing real good. And my Aunt Sue put it this way. She said there was always some trash talking, always in good fun, always with a love you at the end of the conversation. And that's the thing, as much as she loved her teams, and we mentioned she loved her music, we always knew, every one of us who came to know Vranda knew that she loved each and every one of us more, and made us feel like we were the most beloved people there is. She made each one of us feel that we were her beloved. And she certainly was ours. Thank you.